Monique. I'm the lead researcher on the SAILS Supporting Autistic Adults' Intimate Lives research project. We've been speaking to autistic people from all over England about their intimate lives and the kind of support that they'd like to see in this area. And one of our key findings is that health and social care providers and those that are there to support autistic people simply are not asking how they can support intimate lives, love and relationships and those kind of things. And all of our participants are saying how crucial this area is to their lives and to their sense of well-being and for mitigating things like loneliness and isolation. Our policy analysis has showed us exactly the same thing. Policymakers are ignoring the importance of intimate lives and focusing only on things like participation in the workforce, housing, integration into communities, but forgetting the importance of love and relationships. And so we'd like to see this change, and we'd like to see more health and social care providers asking autistic people about their intimate lives and how they can help in this area. And as we've kind of put it, we'd like to see support for intimate lives on the menu for social care. And for this reason, we've developed this idea of a menu, and it stems from speaking to our participants about the kind of support that they'd like to see. And what all of our participants, or many of our participants, have said is that they would like to know that this is an area, relationships, dating, sex, is something that they can speak to people that support them about without feeling ashamed or as though this was an inappropriate thing to ask for support for. But they've also said that they don't want to be caught unaware with really invasive questions that they weren't prepared for. And so we've come up with this idea of a menu for support. This is really simple and it can be adapted to your own practice, but it's this idea of giving your autistic clients or the autistic people that you support a kind of written list of the areas that you could support them with. And on that list, including aspects of support around relationships and sexuality as is relevant for your particular service or support that you provide. And this then gives autistic people the chance to go home and consider in their own time what their needs might be and how they would like to articulate these, and to be able to opt in and choose the kind of support that they would like to have. And this all comes down to giving people kind of choice and control within the support that they have, and really fostering our ability to ask these kind of difficult questions around relationships, intimacy, dating, sex, because these are important questions. And so we've asked Lucy Macdonald from Thrive Rehab to come and talk to us about how she's employed this idea of the menu in her practice. Lucy is an occupational therapist and sexologist, and she's come to tell us a little bit more about how you can incorporate a menu for support to support autistic adults' intimate lives.
Hi everyone, my name is Lucy and my pronouns are she, her, and I've been asked to kind of create a bit of a video to showcase some of the work that I've been doing, so I hope you can find it interesting. As you can probably hear, I am Australian, so I would like to start this video by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land in which I'm filming it from. It's the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nations, so I'm located in Melbourne, and I would like to pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. So a bit of background about me, I guess. I am an occupational therapist and a sexologist, and I went and got my Bachelor's of Occupational Therapy from the Australian Catholic University in Melbourne, and then started my work as an OT in a few different places. I worked a lot in adult physical rehab hospitals over here, special schools and paediatric private practices before deciding to kind of complete further study. So then I completed my master's in psychosexual therapy at the University of Sydney. So I currently work for a very small private practice in Melbourne called Thrive Rehab. We are primarily an occupational therapy practice, but we specialize in sexuality, gender, and sexual health. The reason I say that is I would probably argue that it doesn't necessarily need to be a specialized area, but that's what we are known for in Melbourne. So we work predominantly in the disability space. Our main client base are individuals who are accessing the National Disability Insurance Scheme over here. So that's what we have over here in Australia. So yeah, that's kind of the main clients that we're seeing. And at Thrive, our values kind of as a company is just that we're really committed to working alongside clients to kind of meet them where they're at, while always respecting their unique kind of worldview and health needs as well. We celebrate people of all backgrounds, genders, sexualities, cultures, bodies, and we're forever striving for kind of that affirming practice and being affirming practitioners. Specifically, my role is a little bit, it's definitely an OT role, but it's got a bit more of a sexology umbrella over it too. I work with a range of clients who may be seeking support or education related to some part of their sexuality. So this can involve things like tailored sex ed sessions, some counselling at times, consultations with the wider multidisciplinary team, support sometimes with clients with kind of showing sexualized behaviors, introduction of assistive equipment. So that can be something as small as a sex toy to something as big as a sex swing, and supporting people with accessing sex work if that's what they want to as well. A lot of my referral base is from other health professionals in their client's care team, basically. So what will happen is they'll identify a sexuality related problem or goal or something, and maybe don't feel like they're the best person to take on that. So a lot of my role is also to provide some education and consultative help to other health professionals about talking about sex and how to kind of navigate sexuality questions and concerns as well. Specifically in terms of my work with neurodiverse clients, a large majority of my caseload are autistic clients, and many of whom have co-occurring intellectual disability at times as well. So because of this, I myself am constantly unlearning and learning ways to make myself more of a neurodiverse affirming practitioner, as I do truly believe I can't support some of my clients without knowing where I sit in terms of my privilege and kind of what I bring to every session as well. This can involve things like values training, checking my assumptions and beliefs, constant, not reflective practice, but reflexive practice, to ensure I'm just continuing to progress with my understanding and my approach. And I'm very well supported to do that with my team lead and my boss here at Thrive Rehab. So my boss, Anita, came to me after hearing the presentation from Monique, with kind of the research that's being completed by Monique and the team at Supporting Autistic Adults Intimate Lives Research Project. And as soon as I kind of heard about it, I knew it's something that I could easily incorporate into my practice here. Specifically, the concept of a topic menu for autistic clients I found particularly helpful. I know that many of the clients I see feeling kind of respected involves being recognized as a person with choice and control, and the menu concept really provides clinicians with a tool to support that. Autistic voices need to be heard, and if a clinician is not valuing their perspective, they have, I would argue, absolutely no hope in supporting autistic clients to achieve their goals and to reach health outcomes as well. So the idea of the menu is something I heard about and just kind of ran with almost immediately. As I mentioned, many of my clients have co-occurring intellectual disabilities, so my first concepts of the menu I made are very visual heavy, but that really doesn't need to always be the case. And I've found that I've been kind of tweaking it depending on who I'm using it with. So there's an amazing company in Western Australia called Seca who produce very clear and appropriate visuals surrounding sexuality. And so I contacted them and utilized their visuals when coming up with kind of my first concept of it. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, it shows not only the topic options, but also kind of gives choice and control about how individuals want to learn about that. So basically I'll run through each topic and cross it off if they're really not keen on learning about that topic. That's totally fine. But if they're interested in it, then we'll speak a bit more about how they want to learn about that, because everyone kind of learns differently. So I think that's really important part of it. So some clients may not really vibe with having a verbal education session. It may just be a bit too heavy. So other clients may benefit from, they might like reading and maybe they benefit from that. Or some clients may still want kind of a visual element, so they may want to watch like an educational video or something like that. Again, it's just all about that choice, control, and autonomy as well. So I thought it might be helpful for me to speak a bit about a case study, just to kind of put it into context of how I've used it. This is actually the first client that I used the topic menu with. I'm going to call him Tom. He's an 18-year-old autistic young man with co-occurring intellectual disability as well. Tom was referred to me because he was accessing sex work, and his family were a bit concerned as he'd never had sex ed before in school. He actually quit school quite early, so hadn't had any of that kind of background education. So the family just flagged it as something that they wanted some support with. So when I first met Tom, clearly, you know, being an 18-year-old, his mum had told him why I was coming, but I already got the sense that he was feeling really awkward, as you would if someone's coming into your home to speak to you about sex-related things. So I could get the sense he was feeling a bit embarrassed, a bit shy, and that was totally fair enough. So really what I just did was start by just reassuring Tom that this session was really a get to know each other session, and I just wanted to see if we had the right fit for therapy. And I kind of said to him, look, if you're not feeling comfortable, we don't have to continue on. And he kind of immediately felt at ease with that. And so he then just kind of started telling me about his life story, his interests and things like that, so that we could kind of have a bit of a chat. After a while of talking, I kind of mentioned to Tom that I have a topic menu here to show him that has areas that I might be able to help him with, but I only was going to get it out for him when he felt comfortable to see it and wanted to. And eventually, after speaking for a while, he kind of said to me, I'll see that menu, the topic thing that you mentioned now. So I showed him it. It was very similar to this. And I kind of, when I created it, the concept of it, I started with the kind of least explicit topics like consent, friends, relationships, to the more explicit topics like pornography, sexual pleasure, STIs, that kind of thing. I was actually genuinely shocked with how well Tom engaged with it. It was kind of a great tool for checking his understanding as well. So, for example, I would kind of show it to him, and I think we got to gender and kind of said, what about gender? And he reported, oh yeah, I shave every day. But then I used that opportunity to explain a little bit more about what I mean about gender, and then he agreed that he wanted to learn more about that. So it's good to kind of check in what someone's sexual health literacy level is, but also to, you know, support them and respect the fact that if they don't want to know about it, they don't need to learn about it. And it's something that we can maybe cover at another time. But now I work with Tom on a fortnightly basis, doing kind of adapted sex ed lessons. And we frequently refer back to the topic menu when we're in session. We kind of say, oh, covered that topic yet? Is there anything else you want to know about that topic? And he really, really responds well to that. So yeah, since using it with Tom, which was my first person, I've used it multiple times with varying clients, and I personally have changed it slightly depending on the person. But so far, I haven't had any clients that haven't just kind of immediately engaged with it as soon as I show it to them. So in that sense, I've just really it's been blown away with how easy it was, but also just how much my clients responded to it as well. So I guess in summary, I did want to speak about the concept of the menu and just kind of flag to you that it is so simple but effective in so many ways when we think about neurodiverse affirming practice. The concept of asking these questions also I don't think it needs to be a specialized thing. We can incorporate gentle questioning about sexuality into any of our initial assessments, regardless of the discipline. And that's what kind of a lot of my work is as well, is just to kind of support clinicians to ask that question and to be there for someone. Because if we aren't asking the question, then we aren't providing that opportunity to open up the conversation. So clinicians may keep clients may keep problems to themselves or questions to themselves because they're just feeling a bit awkward or not sure who to ask. And that's the case for our entire population. But yeah, in terms of our autistic population, this is just kind of respecting the fact that we know that they are often that choice and control is taken away. And we are here to kind of hear their voice, hear what they want to learn about, and give them the opportunity to buy in with that chat about sexuality. Because it is an awkward chat, but and this also is a tool where you can have it you can get them to fill it in themselves if they feel more comfortable with that. There's a lot of ways that we can use it. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of chat to you about what I've done. And I hope you found this video helpful, and please consider how you're providing kind of choice, control, and autonomy in your work with your clients, because can we really, really, truly say that we're being person-centered without that kind of respect as well? So yeah, that's a bit about me, and I hope you found the video helpful. Thank you.